Hey guys, welcome to Peripheral Vision, and today we're taking a look at the top 10 levels in Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. That's right, Super Mario World, which as many of you may know, is a master's class in level design, so it was kind of difficult whittling down the list to just 10 entries. Now, as always, if you disagree or you feel like other levels that I don't mention in this list should have been there, please feel free to leave in the comments down below your top 10 levels. So without further ado, let's start off with number 10. Number 10. Starting off our list, we have Vanilla Dome 4. This level is interesting because of the other levels in Vanilla Dome. Every other level in this section of the map feels very tight and constrained. This works, of course, because you're in a cave and that makes sense. Vanilla Dome 4, however, looks and feels like you're playing in an outside level at night, with stars in the background. I get that they're supposed to be twinkling diamonds, but this level feels like it was made for a completely different part of the game. The focus is on bouncy, acrobatic gameplay, having Mario jump from springboards, avoiding bullet bills, and hopping on Koopas. It is fairly straightforward, having a single exit and only one notable secret in the form of a pipe taking you to the lava section for a dragon coin. But the thing about this level that puts it on my list is the fact that the freedom of movement it provides is a perfect break from the closed-in level design of the rest of the world. Plus, considering it's right before the castle, it's a good chance to stretch your legs before the boss fight. Oh, who am I kidding? I just like this shiny background. Shiny! Number 9. Donut Secret House. I knew I wanted a ghost house in this list, and out of all of them, I felt this was the most interesting. In the context of the map, this is the level that leads to both the first piece of Star Road, as well as your first peek at the Valley of Bowser. Inside the level is a lot of doors, and it's up to you to figure out which ones to take. Although the puzzle itself isn't terribly complex, because this is still an early level, it's fun exploring just for the sake of exploring. In your travels, you're introduced to the Coin Snake, which is a game element which is explained in the level after this. Its appearance in the ghost house is just to make you curious. Oh, and of course, I can't talk about Donut Secret House without talking about the Big Boo. That's right, you can kill the Big Boo by sliding down the stairs at him. I'm kidding, of course. The exit of this ghost house that takes you to the Star Road has you fighting against the Big Boo himself. And that's just awesome. Number 8. Forest Fortress. Forest Fortress wants you dead. That's what I love about it. Even though there are much harder levels in the game, Forest Fortress does an amazing job at making you feel on edge constantly, both in an emotional sense and literally on the edge of a grinder, which is the name of these buzzsaws, by the way. So, let's take you through this death trap. The first section is a series of giant columns trying to crush you while you weave in and out of grinders. Oh, and this level also serves as a punishment for any player who didn't get the switch palaces, because without those blocks, this part of the level becomes devilishly difficult. The next section starts by throwing a buzzsaw at your face, followed by, you guessed it, more grinders, only this time with fire. Finally, at the end, the level teases you by offering you two options. Either go through the door that's right there, or cross a sea of fiery death to see what's on the other side. Of course, for you guys, I'm taking the fiery death route. Once at the end, you get a bunch of 1-ups, fight Reznor, and win one of the most satisfying victories ever. Number 7. Chocolate Island 2 is one of the most unusual levels in the game. The level is built off of branching paths. The path you take depends on the number of coins you've collected and the number on the level timer. It does of course give you a hint at the beginning, telling you that coins and time affect things, but it's up to you to figure out how. Most of the paths will take you to the same exit, but if you go through the first 2 sections of the level very quickly, you will access a secret exit that will take you directly to the Castle of Chocolate Island, via a shortcut through the Valley of Bowser. Another interesting section of the level is this one. The only way you can get here is to get more than 11 coins in the first part of the level. You can't do this by just collecting the 11 coins available. The trick is that when Yoshi eats an enemy, it counts as a coin. So eat a bunch of the mini dinos as well, and you'll end up in this weird flying section. It's a cool idea for a level mechanic that is unique to Chocolate Island 2, and the reason it gets number 7. Number 6. The Sunken ghost ship is awesome in concept and execution. According to the manual, the ship is actually one of the airships from Super Mario Bros. 3 that fell into the ocean. So that's cool, and kind of creepy. It's also the only ghostly environment that you can take Yoshi into, which doesn't make sense because it's explained that Yoshi is afraid of ghosts. Let's not dig too deep into that logic. As you can see from the footage, the first part of the level is spent swimming through water, while hundreds of ghosts appear and disappear in random locations. The game is fair though. It won't have a ghost appear in your exact location. But still, it is a pretty intense section of level. As you can also see, even though Yoshi can be in this level, he makes it much harder to maneuver. The second part is a long free fall with a jet black background until you make it to the bottom where giant spiky mines fall all around you. Again, this is very much designed to be a scary environment where you don't know what's going to happen next. Finally, you grab a question mark ball, which is actually a relic from Super Mario Bros. 3, and you escape the ghost ship without becoming one of the crew. Ooh. Number 5. Tubular. Okay. Before everyone gets upset, yes, this is the level that caused all of us so much frustration as a kid. It's definitely a level you have to think about, and that's part of the reason why it's on this list, actually. It should be hard. This is the last, most secret part of the game, and you should be challenged by a level that makes you think and plan. It also made the list because it rewards players who explore. If you've searched through the game, you've run into this balloon power-up plenty of times, and you should be good with it by now. If you just ran to the special zone, you'll be going in blind, and the cape can't help you here. It's worth noting there is another way to beat the level, with a blue Yoshi, by floating to the Koopas and flying with a shell in your mouth. It's also worth noting that the fact we all remember this level by name at least indicates that it's memorable. Number 4. Forest of Illusion 1 introduces a handful of new elements while reinforcing some old ones. We get to meet Wiggler, who we learn can't be defeated by Mario, so the level gives us a Yoshi so we can just eat him. Speaking of eating, this is the first level that gives us more than one pink berry. If you go out of your way to eat 2 of them, then you are rewarded by this cloud that throws special items. Collect them all to get a 1-up. But you won't need that 1-up because this level has a trick every Super Mario World player knows. Get a star from the roulette block and charge through the army of enemies ahead to get a huge amount of lives. Isn't it weird we all did that as kids, without anyone telling us to? No, not weird. It was intentionally designed that way. We also get some foreshadowing of future challenges, with the introduction of trees in the foreground obscuring your vision, and the first time you're required to use a pea balloon to get one of the exits. This level is a hodgepodge of cool design elements, and like the forest itself, is more than meets the eye. Number 3. Bowser's Castle. Is it cheating to put this on the list? Oh well, I don't care. Bowser's Castle is split into 2 groups of 4 rooms each. You have to beat 1 room from each group, then you can go on to a short section, followed by the final showdown. Some of the rooms are easy, some of them are not. But the idea itself of offering a player the choice is cool. Plus, all the rooms in their own way build a sense of anticipation. If you die a few times, you will eventually figure out which 2 sections you prefer. Plus, in the little mini area, you get to see Mecha Koopas, and interacting with them is actually important because they're the key to winning the fight with the boss. Speaking of which, the boss fight here is actually what put this level on the list. It's very fun and memorable, even if it's not terribly challenging. And I don't care what anyone says, Clown Copter is the best thing ever. And we even get Princess Peach doing her olive oil impression. All amounting in fireworks. Man, that brings back memories. Number 2. Donut Plains 1 is an amazing level, although you might not see why at first. The purpose of this level is that it's a training level for the game's new power-up, the Cape. In the air, it gives you waves of coins and hidden clouds to find while practicing flying. There's even a secret area hidden in a pipe where you can collect hundreds of coins while learning how to float along. On the ground, it's a who's who of enemies, showing the player that while the Cape may be incredibly effective against some enemies, there are others, such as the Flying Koopas, that make it so you can't just dash forward spinning your cape. We get a Yoshi, of course, to see how these two game mechanics work together. We even have our first secret exit, which can be accessed by a good flyer even before the green switch is triggered. This is the perfect example of game design, making new ideas feel natural and non-intrusive. Oh, and as a bonus, we get our first bonus room. So yay! Number 1. Yoshi's Island 2. This is another one of those levels that is dedicated to educating the player on a new mechanic. In this, it's, you guessed it, Yoshi. Now, the introduction of Yoshi by itself would put this level in the list. But just like Donut Plains 1, the way it introduces such a major part of the game is perfectly seamless. First, you get a hint block that explains the A button breaks blocks. But since you're on Yoshi, you also learn that that button makes you jump off of him, which proves useful later. From there, it's a flood of information you don't even realize you're getting. You learn that certain shells give Yoshi powers, and that some enemies can't be swallowed, but that most are. Oh, and by the way, Yoshi can't climb vines. Yoshi can, however, eat things in the background and through blocks. Oh, and before we even get Yoshi, a lone shell teaches us that hitting a bunch of enemies in a row grants a 1-up. That is a level incredibly dense with design, and a perfect, proper introduction for one of the biggest characters in the Mario universe since Princess Toadstool. Thank you guys for watching my list. If you have any thoughts about what you think are the best levels, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Later days.